seems like a pretty strong family, or at least a confident family, and that comes from good upbringing. Has to, right?
We grew up on Decatur Street in Brooklyn. Sherrod lived on the first house, the very first. When you turn onto our block, Sherrod house was the very first house. I lived like down in the middle of the block. So Sherrod was at our house every day. Sherrod grew up with 2 sisters, no brothers. I have 7 brothers, 2 sisters.
7? Yeah.
It was the best, man. We didn't have a lot, so when you don't have a lot, you use the things that are innate.
Right.
So you use your imagination, you use your creativity, you use your camaraderie comes, is a strong thing. You look out for each other. If one person has this and you don't have that, you guys share that. If I have this and you don't have that, we share that. So now we both have the 2 things that we didn't have. We have it, available to us. Yeah. You protect each other because we grew up in the hood, so we had to be very protective of each other.
There is something about that too. When I have a younger brother who's like 6'7", so he's giant. But like, there is something about your little brother either maybe being in an altercation or in one.
Right.
You take it to like, there's a whole nother. You don't realize you have that rage until you see that happening. Yes. You're like, oh, this is going to be really ugly. Yeah. Right?
And my dad always told us, if one of y'all are in a fight, y'all are all in a fight. I don't want to hear. Man. He would say, my father would, if one of us got in a fight, he would come home and my mother would tell him the story. He would call us all downstairs and say, okay, what happened? And like, if you were the one in the fight, you tell me the story. And while you're telling the story, he would stop you and go, so what did you do? What did you do?
Right.
And it's like, oh, then I jumped in, and then I jumped in. He's like, okay, good. I don't want to hear you didn't do anything and somebody was trying to beat up your brother.
You got to take care of each other.
Yeah, then it turned into don't fight the Rock brothers because you got to fight all of them.
That's good.
There's too many of them to fight. So then people would leave us alone. And we
coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, that was the best.
I love it, man.
And we would sit on the stoop every Saturday. This is where the comedy comes in. Just a quick.
No, please.
So we would, Saturday mornings, my mother would clean the house. We would have to do our chores before we could go outside. So we would get up early, knock our chores out. We'd be good for the day. Then my mother, she would do dishes and mop and all that stuff. So she would say, "Get out the house so I can clean."
Right.
And we would go sit on the stoop. And we would sit on the stoop of our house on Decatur Street in front of our yard. And we couldn't go out the gate, but we had to do something to entertain ourselves. So it was anybody that walks past, we're going to snap on them. So it would be like, all right, you're up first. And then whoever walks past. Why
didn't you have a documentary crew
boom,
then?
Snap, just whatever. You're big, looking like, look at your shoes, looking like, and it's the hood, so everybody isn't dressed nice, and people look kind of off, and some people are dirty, and there's crackheads, and we just, comedy. So then it became a thing where every Saturday, all the kids on our block would come to our yard and wait for us to come out. And we would come out like, okay, who's getting it today? And like, Andre, you up first. And like, you're looking like your big hat looks like a damn sack of potatoes, and your mother looks like your father so fatty. And that's where it started. It was like, we got an audience in our yard.
Thing. Yeah. That's amazing, man. So as you guys have grown up, evolved, had your own individual careers, anything negative that comes from having so many talented people in a family?
Negative, yes.
Getting those texts?
Like a little bit of, like, I would say fake hate. The fake hate, he just got it because of his brother, Chris put them on, stuff like, but that's negative.
That would be annoying.
It's like right off, we don't even pay it any attention.
Yeah, you can't really, too.
We don't pay it.
At the end of the day, too, you're in the profession where
I've been doing stand-up.
You got it or not.
I've been doing stand-up for over 10 years. So if my brother made some phone calls to get me in, I would have been exposed a long time ago.
Too late now, right?
If Jordan was being passed along, he wouldn't be where he is now. And he wouldn't be, if he was just like, oh, let's put him in, it would have been exposed a long time ago. And you wouldn't have, this is the thing that will let you know the telltale sign. I wouldn't have the respect of my peers like I do.